There are countless videos of perfect Minecraft hardcore starts, and I wanted to make mine too. So I decided to start a new world and share it in my first YouTube video. I started generating the world, and as soon as I entered I appeared next to an outpost, so I ran out to avoid dying in the first second of the game, only to find a ship that I tried to loot while being chased by a pillager. I know, bad idea. After almost dying in the first 40 seconds of the game, I opened the first chest on the ship and I found iron, so I decided to get a pickaxe, a chest plate and an axe to kill the pillager. After that I found the treasure map and wheat in the other chests, as well as some leather boots with feather falling 3 that I put on immediately. Then I made some bread to regenerate health and finished my set of iron tools. I started exploring and just a few blocks away I found a village, so I stole everything from food to jobs from the villagers. I also spotted a ruined portal in the village, so I went to see what was in the chest and I found obsidian. I then relocated all the beds in the village to keep the villagers visible and then proceeded to to put them to safety. Then I took the nearby coal. I took over a house and started the search for the treasure, which had pretty decent loot in it. And it was finally time for some caving. And with 57 diamonds in my possession, it was finally time to make a villager breeder. And also to make an early game iron farm. And with that being done, I had to make a trading hall in order to enslave the villagers for the rest of their lives. To finish up the breather, I built a nether portal. I took some blocks and entered the portal. What a spawn. I started to breach to see if I could find something interesting, but it wasn't until I ran out of blocks that I turned around and saw a warped forest and a fortress that was just what I was looking for. Then I got ready and went to get some blaze rods. When I got home, I set to work and tried to get, with the levels I had, the perfect sword. I used a mod called cycling trades so that I didn't have to keep putting on and taking off the lecterns and make my life a bit easier. And there it was, my sharpness 5, stripping edge 3, looting 3, unbreaking 3 and mending sword. With that done, I went straight to the nether to get the ender pearls I needed, which with looting 3 didn't take long. Then I went home and prepared for the dragon battle. I found the stronghold pretty easily because it had a weird generation, and then I started to explore to find the portal. But because my preparation was so bad, I had to go out to the cave to get gravel and iron to make a flint and steel so I could make a portal to the nether and access the stronghold easily. And also, it was really bad generated. I mean, look at this. I finally found the portal and I started to make like weird things, but I don't know, I was too nervous. Well, I could finally make the nether portal and I got the things that I left. Anyway, I headed to the end. So I killed the dragon and then I grabbed its egg and went to search for an city, which actually was right by the spawn, so that time that I didn't waste, and then I went straight to loot it. When I got home, I instantly bought a mending book and an unbreaking 3 book to apply it to my elytra so it would be infinite, or at least it wouldn't break during the flight. And then I started with what I think it's the most boring part of the game, which is enchanting the tools. So I'm going to try and make it a bit lighter for you guys. but I ran into a problem, the experience. So I got down to work and started building an Enderman farm. And this is how it turned out. A fairly efficient farm for what it really is, and without the need to use an endermite, which is always annoying. Then I went back home and continued enchanting. And in order to have an armor with all the perfect enchantments, I also needed Soul Speed 3 and Swift Sneak 3, so I went and got them. And while I was in the Nether, I took the opportunity to get the Netherite upgrade. I actually got the Swift Sneak 3 book on the first try, so I left the ancient city right away. And after all the enchantments, the only thing left to do was to get netherite, so I got to it. Okay, so now that we've got perfect armor and perfect tools, we need to do the basic farms for survival. And the first farm we're going to build is going to be the iron farm, because this one doesn't produce nearly as much iron as we are going to need. Okay, so first of all, if you notice that my experience is changed or anything, it's because I'm recording this while I'm editing the video, so the episode is already recorded. I'm making this clip because I'm having nightmares about the replay mod, which I've already got rid of, and so the last clip you'll see made with it is going to be the cobblestone farm that comes after this one. So what I want to do is explain a little bit about the farm and how it works, so you can see it since you've only been able to see the construction of one of the spawn modules. Eh! Well, those villagers aren't villagers anymore, so we will have to change that. Well, how the farm works is basically we have a zombie riding a minecart and frightening the villagers, so they generate an iron golem. It falls down here, it burns, and the iron is collected by those chests. Before building the next farm, I made a short stop to get a few totems because I had some close calls and I didn't want to risk all my progress. I want to clarify that what you're seeing is a recreation of the raid, because obviously the replay mode has lost my clip. Whatever. The next farm I did was the cobblestone farm, basically because it is a material that is needed for practically everything and every farm, so it's an essential. After building the farm itself, I went to collect materials to decorate the farm, because one of the biggest challenges of this hardcore is to decorate all the farms to make a beautiful world and not a disconnected and ugly one. Okay, so now it's the rocket factory's turn because it has been a pain to make the factory without a renewable source of gunpowder. So let's get to it. Okay, so far I've made an amazing cobblestone farm and an even better rocket farm, but this is my house. So let's fix this. So what we are going to do is to build a place to store nearly every item in the game. I say nearly because there are some items that aren't stackable as well as others that I just don't want, such 16 colored candles or every workbench. You know, this is why I need a house. The first thing I did was to repair my sword and my armor, and then I went to the nether to collect some wood skulls to make the digging part a little bit easier. I tried to trap the wither, but he escaped, so I had to kill him. Finally, I made the beacon, placed it down, and started digging. Now it's time to decorate, so I'm gonna try some designs to see which one I like the most. This is the design that I came up with, and now with the power of editing, so this is how the corridors have turned out, and I think I like them. And now we are going to try a design for the floor. This is the floor, which has lights under the carpets. And now for the center part. I don't know what that transition looks like, but this is the center part. And now we are going to do the ceiling. So this is the ceiling. It looks a little bit flat, but I like it like this because that way you focus on the chests and not on things that aren't important, which is the same thing that I thought for the floor. And now we got left some finishing touches, such doing here a wall. Decorating the overflow chests. Building here another portal. And building here a nice gate. So the chest room is finally finished. This is the entrance I made. It's basic, but as I said, I don't want to focus on things that aren't important. So here we have the gate and chests, basically chests. We have two inputs. The first one is for items. Here you can insert as many items as you want. And here we have the input for shulker boxes, which, well, you put shulker boxes inside, they empty, and then the shulker box ends in the overflow system. And just like that, we have what I think that it's a perfect start in Minecraft Hardcore. Now the best thing would be to put all the items in the room, but we'll leave that for the next episode. So if you don't want to miss it, subscribe and see you.